I've been putting on since a teen, nigga. Yeah, ballin' hard like fuck you mean, nigga. I'm talking grinding all day to get this cream, nigga. With $1 and a dream in my motherfucking team, nigga. I've been putting on since a teen, nigga. Yeah, ballin' hard like fuck you mean, nigga. I'm talking grinding all day to get this cream, nigga. With $1 and a dream in my motherfucking
team. We got with us today.
Right. It's King Nellz. Most people know me as Nellz, but I'm back home, so you can call me Colonel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can call me Colonel. You can call me Huss. You can call me, you know, all of those little small nicknames I had as a kid. But you know, it's Nellz in the flesh.
Yeah, cause that, you know, I know you as Colonel from back in the day.
Right.
You know, your fam used to live next door down Bywater.
Right.
That's how I know you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like what you been up to?
Really just focusing on the music, man, and just working. That's it, man. Like, yeah. I just, you know, I'm a believer. You got to do what you love for the rest of your life. That's the only way you can really be happy. So, you know, I still make it my goal, my priority to, you know, put myself in a position to be great.
All right, like,
do what I love to do.
What music you got? You got anything like new out right now?
Yeah, this is so. I started rocking with a couple of the homies from high school. We formed a group. I started going high school up here, but I finished down in Atlanta. For those of you that don't know, my peoples moved to Atlanta in 04, so I've been down in Atlanta since. But I linked up with a couple of the homies from high school. We formed a group, a collective called the Wreck Shit Club. We actually just released our first video. I'm gonna make sure you got the link to that. And we just been releasing music. 2016 was a big year for us. We did A3C, the hip hop festival in Atlanta. We did South by Southwest, the hip hop festival out in Austin, Texas. We went out there, had a couple of shows out there. We also did Raw Fest, which is a hip hop fest, a smaller joint, but it's a hip hop festival in Atlanta. We opened up for Joey Badass and Rory out there. So it's been you know, for us just coming together, you know, kind of never really doing music together and just putting it together. 2016 was definitely a very productive year for us. We got a lot done.
Yeah, cause I know you've been doing this for a little while now.
Yeah.
Like you still, I seen you doing like the poetry stuff too.
Yeah.
You still with that?
Yeah, I gotta do the poetry, man. That's my first love. Like,
yeah.
You know, I started doing poetry before rap. I ain't, you know, my older cousins rap, older brothers and sisters rap, everybody in my family rap. I was a poet, so you know that kind of opened up the door into me rapping, and that's probably why I'm as versed as I am as a rapper, because the poetry came first.
I remember, yo, back then, we was down Bywater a couple years ago, and I think we was out from Perk Crib. And that's when I found out this when I first found out you rap. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hear something. You started going, and you was on some, know what I'm saying? I wasn't on your level. I'm like, oh no, I ain't going after him. Fuck that. Cause I wasn't rapping about nothing like that at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
no, man, honestly, man, I was definitely kind of groomed for this. Having, you know, I look at it as a gift first, but just having the relatives that I had around me, you know, my older siblings for sure, especially like my cousins. The biggest thing, man, was just tough criticism. I learned how to take criticism early. You know, it was never, you know, I never had any yes men. If shit was whack, Wally was like, yo, that shit was whack.
Right. That's
yeah, I mean, Linda was like, that shit was whack.
Right.
So that made me like, no matter how it was times I thought I was nice.
Right.
And they would just let the air out my balloon like, no.
That's what you
gotta
need.
Keep working. Exactly.
That's what you need.
And so that made me, you know, it got to a point where I'm gonna say it was probably once I hit like 14 years old, 15 years old, they was like, no, shorty, you got it. Now you gotta work on crafting yourself as a true artist. And I remember I always tell this story, yo. I remember it was probably around that same age. I was writing some songs, or thought I was writing some songs, and I let Linda hear it, and she was like, yo, you gotta go back to the drawing board. You gotta create structure, yo.
Yeah.
Like all of your verses is fire, but it just sound like a couple verses you put together with a weak ass chorus in between. Yeah, I mean, you're not really developing yourself as an artist. You gotta go and really study people that you like and what you like about how they create. And so it was really planting that seed right there is when I was like, okay, I gotta take the artistry a little more serious if it's something that I want to do. So
it seemed like that's more of how it was back in the day, because like nowadays, like, guys start rapping, and you got your man just be like, yeah, that's nice.
Yep.
No, that shit is not nice.
Right.
You're supposed to tell him, yo, that shit is ass.
And when you got so many people that's on now, I mean, who are you to say what's hot and what's not anymore? You know what I mean? Because you got so much, the airwaves is inundated with so many mediocre motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, but that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, I had to change my perspective. I was like, yo, I would rather for you be in the booth making a living for your family than the alternative. Because the artistry is definitely saving a lot of people's lives who will be out here doing whatever they need to do to make ends meet. So when I look at it that way, you know, it's like, it is what it is, man. They providing what they need to provide for their family and things like that. So you can't be mad at it. But just on pure fan of music and fan of the art, it's a lot of garbage out there, but we already know that. You know what I mean?
So it's like, with that being said, like, so who do you listen to?
A lot, honestly. Now I listen to a lot of it varies, man, from day to day. Like, one day I might get in the mood and I'm not even listening to hip hop. I'm listening to Sam Cooke. I'm listening to stuff like that, like really listening to like Curtis Mayfield and how his sound crafted the 70s. You know what I mean? When you think of Superfly and all of that shit. You know what I mean? So I just started listening to music differently, but just on the hip hop tip, I just posted something on Twitter, man. It's these cats I got wind of a long time ago from out LA called Blue and Exile. Blue is the artist, Exile is the producer. And they shit is cold. They dropped something in 07 called Below the Heavens, and I feel like that shit was way ahead. Like 10 years later, it's relevant. You know what I mean? Now, but outside of that, you know, I listen to your usual Kendrick Lamar, Drake. I do give Drake a listen. Although I tend to be a critic of Drake, but Drake make quality music. I can never take that from him at all. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like a hater. That nigga make quality music, so it is what it is. But, you know, Jay, Nas, all of the greats, but it depends on what mood I'm in. If I'm listening to hip-hop or some alternative shit or whatever.
Well, you was living down in Atlanta. What you think about them then? Right,
see, down in Atlanta, and that's when I got an interesting perspective because I lived pretty much the last, you know, since 04, so pretty much the last damn near 12, 13 years of my life has been in Atlanta. And when I first got down there, it was funny, yo, because I got in an argument with one of my homies who was trying to tell me Andre 3000 was better than Jay. And I'm fresh down there, you can't tell me nothing. I'm like, man, you smoking some crack. But then I had to, what I did was I learned to appreciate the culture. Once I understood the Southern culture, then it made more sense to me. Then I could appreciate Outkast. Then I could appreciate your T.I.s or your Jeezys. And even now, like your acts like the Migos, Young Thug. I always say, man, they're an acquired taste for somebody like me because I just come from East Coast hip hop. Like my sisters never had me listen. I was listening to Illmatic before I knew what he was talking about. You know what I mean? I was listening to Raekwon and, you know what I mean, the Purple Tape and Ghost and all of that. So I couldn't, being 15 years old and going down to the hottest record on the streets was Knuck If You Buck. You know what I mean? like I came from listening to Redman and Def Squad, you know what I mean? To listening to Knuck If You Buck, so it was definitely a culture shock. But once I learned to truly appreciate the culture though, you know what I mean, then I could understand. So I think it really took me living down there. Like my closest friends, you know, are Southern, born and bred. Like some of them haven't been outside of 285. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a lot that I was able to learn from them about the culture that was able to add value to how I view the music.
So do you think Andre 3000 better than
Man, hell no. Dre 3000, my nigga. I love Dre 3 though. I love Dre 3. But I think Dre 3 could have been. I think if you listen to a lot of what he say now, Dre 3 will tell you, he was like, man, I became a victim of my own success in the sense that, you know, I didn't really want all the fame. I just was a kid that could rap. And I just wanted that. And so, you know, I felt, if you listen to a lot, he tell his story a lot. And how, you know, he even apologized to Big Boy, like, look how much money we could have passed out on. I mean, we missed out on because, you know, your best friend, homie, and business partner is kind of like, you know, an introvert that don't know how to deal with the fame. So I think all in all, if he had been more consistent, he would be able to be. But even still, I don't want to sound like I'm taking nothing from him. Even still, bar for bar, it ain't too many that's gonna hop on the track with Dre 3 and make them nervous. Like, so much love to Dre 3. I don't want those problems. But listen, interesting fact though, and I hate name dropping, but my homie in the group, so we all went to high school together. My homie Neil, he go by Yes. My homie Joey Costello, my homie Ultra, Mean Joe Jean. Neil Pops recorded Speaker Box and Love Below. He got a Grammy for that.
Really?
Yeah, and my homie was real modest about it. Like, we knew each other for a minute, and he told me, he was like, yeah, yo, you know, my pops, he with the music and all of that. So, you know, I'm just thinking like regular, you know what I mean? So the first time I go over the crib, we in the basement, I'm walking through and I see the plaques on the wall. I'm like, fuck with the music. Then I see all his name. At first I thought it was just his name's on the plaques. Then I see the Grammy, then I said, oh, Pops got a Grammy. You being real humble, I appreciate it. But Pops is that dude. Like, he crafted a whole sound of a whole generation. So, you know, it's crazy, 6 degrees of separation. So I'm kind of like, in one way, connected to Andre 3000 through the grapevine.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, much love to them though.
Yeah. So, like, what's going on with the fam? Everything good?
Yeah, man, everything good with the family. You know, that's why I like coming back home.
Yeah.
You know, just take some time out, man. I think it's just super important that when I come home, I get inspired. I never want to be too far removed from, you know, those people's and ideas that help make me who I am. So, like I said, being in Atlanta for so long, I never want to be jaded, you know, or too far from the roots. So I come back home and I get inspiration. And so when I'm around, you know, I was around Wiley, Guns, you know, Linda, spoke with my peoples briefly, but the family is always good, man. Everything is well. But I just kind of need to come home, be with them, touch them, and get that inspiration to keep doing what I'm doing and striving for the success that I'm striving for.
So,
sure.
So like say if somebody want, you know, maybe do a feature or something like that, how can they get in contact with
you? You can just hit me up on social media, just to be honest with you. I got a website under construction, but I've kind of put that on the back burner because we really been crafting the group, and the group social media been popping, and everything that we've been able to work on with the group, you know, is coming to fruition. So it's just, you know, I'm working everything through there.
Yeah.
But man, I'm probably, I don't know what people's perception of me is, but I'm probably, you know, one of the most personable people that you can come across, and I strive to be. I don't say that, I don't take that loosely. I actually strive to be. I just want to always be able to touch the people. Somebody I admire is Muhammad Ali. No matter how much he succeeded, even at the height of his everything that who he was, he could always touch the people.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I look at that as an inspiration because that's how I always want to be. So, man, feel free to hit me up. K Nellz, all my social media is K Nellz now. Yeah. I got my IG name back. IG had canceled my account like 3 times. So, but I'm back, KAYNELLZ on all social platforms. And you can hit me up. And I'm not one of those, I don't charge for a feature, especially not where I am in the game. I don't knock anybody that is charging for features and things like that. Do your thing, but that's just not my prerogative. You know, I would rather just, we both, most of the times as artists, we all up and coming, and you know, we'll get our just due. If anybody that I feature, once I'm in a position where I am, you know, they'll get their credits, they'll get their entitlement, they'll get their royalties and things like that. I don't really worry about that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it'll come in. I know it'll come in due time. So I don't see myself charging for features unless I really don't rock with you at all. Like, it'll have to be something like that. You know what I mean? Like, cause I feel like even if if we rocking with each other, one hand wash the other, cause there's gonna be a time, as long as we do that spreadsheet, you get your points, I get my points, it's gonna be that time where, you know, you feature me, I feature you on some favor for favor, and we just let them points fall where they may, and we good. So that's just me though. That's just my philosophy.
Wow. So shit. You think you got some bars for me or something?
Oh, yeah, man. I always got some bars, man. I always got some bars. Light work. Let me see, what perspective do I want to come from today, or this evening rather. Yeah. Year and a half I've been back in my city of birth. On the real, man, I feel like the city is cursed. You attract more bees with honey than vinegar. You'll get the gist by the time that I finish the verse. It's amazing how much your gifts can get taken for granted. And in the midst, it's with my gifts that I manage to manage. In arm's reach, but I swear ain't nothing behind it. Still I risk it all. Still I ball, make the assist, set the pick and all. Get the click involved. Mathematician when it's division, nigga, shit can solve. Carry the 9 with no remainders. Shit can quickly multiply with a simple call. Subtract y'all stories, something don't add up. Sound like a mixture of bullshit and bad luck. And I don't have time for either of them. Watch how time make a leader of them. Promethazine, codeine make a leader of them. I need dough like a Peter muffin. Walk on water while recording, make a Peter of them. Till I look down, my feet are sunken. Oh, ye of little faith. A blind man once taught me must to see the faith. Now it's mustard on the beat I slay. Tunnel vision road to riches, I can see the way. Through God's grace, I won't lead astray. Starting to pray more. These the days that I pray for. Spill my heart on the track, fade to black, press play for. What I wake up every day for. What I study 9, study Dame, study Ye, study J for. Made the bridges that I burn like my path to success. Help who I can, sorry I had to turn my back on the rest. Just learning how to live without having to stress. Cause in this game called life, someone have to reset. Vulnerability through transparency. I'm the greatest apparently. $1 million thought sharing sparingly. Everything good ain't good for you, moment of clarity.
Yeah. Sign me out, my boy.
Appreciate you, man, as always. I say I gotta be a part of this TOMA TV early, man. Yeah. I want to be early. I want to be in, see it in its infancy, and then we gonna be able to look back on these videos and like, man, it's always worth it. The humble beginnings into limitless potential. That's what we here for, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right, one.
You already.